gentlemen, welcome to the K7 area. Here we are doing our very first The Lockdown series. I am JP Santos, president, owner of K7, accompanied by Brandon Grifkowski, whatever the hell your name is, Brandon. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, my fellow degenerate. But please don't ever try to pronounce my name again. You're terrible at it. I don't want to hear the jokes about it, and we'll just continue on from here as if it didn't happen.
Absolutely, bro, absolutely. So, accompanied with you here, we don't have our photos there, but, very first podcast, the preface, or preface, whatever you guys want to call this, for viewers. Absolutely, thank you guys for tuning in and watching. We'll try to do these weekly. This is kind of like a new thing we're just kind of testing out. Kind of shoot the shit. We do have a special guest here today. It's the league commissioner himself, Fred. What's going on, bro?
Another day in paradise, man. Excited to be here. Excited to talk, to shoot the shit around. Get hyped for league. So close. So very close.
So close. 13 days, right? 13 days. We are so close to seeing all these teams right here that you see on your screen play as we see the division split. This isn't in any seeding or alphabetical order or anything. These are just to kind of show you the teams where they stand. Division A, man, we got a stacked division. It is Knights Templar, Rated Gaming, Monolithic Gaming, Finale Gaming, Wave Runners, Rated White, Hustle Esports, and Heartbreakers. Vic, what do you have to say so far about just this side of the league that you see right there? Those 8 names right there. What, in one word, if you were to describe Division Alpha, how would you describe them?
Brutal. Looking through the teams that we got there, it's going to be a brutal ride to the top to make playoffs, and even a brutal bracket for playoffs to get into any semis or even finals for a lot of these teams. I'm looking at a couple of the newer teams that came in here, Hustle especially. They got a little work to do to get up to snuff. But some of these teams that are established are just going to be slugging it out with teams that are very equally matched, very good roster compositions, and very different styles of play.
Very different indeed, man. I mean, some people are saying they can't hear me on stream. Let me just kind of test this out real quick. Hold on. It looks good. All right, cool. So I was just trying to check. But brutal indeed, man. I do agree with you. I do agree with you. We have the top 3 teams kind of standing up there on the order: Knights Templar, Rated Gaming, Monolithic Gaming. But we have some new teams that entered the league in Division Alpha. It's Rated White and Wave Runners, along with the Heartbreakers. They actually had a pretty good preseason. They had the best preseason match that probably we've seen in our preseason. I mean, I don't know, Fred, what do you think, being the league commissioner of the league, what do you think about the match that you saw between the Indiana Syndicate and the Heartbreakers?
It was definitely the most competitive. It was the most balanced between the two teams. They came out and showed. They were a couple kills, and then S&D from taking the reverse sweep. So they're definitely gonna come out here, hopefully make some noise, and show us what they got. So we'll see how it goes.
Indeed, indeed. My bad. I was kind of just seeing the mic volume audio that people are kind of going up on the chat box about, but you pansies just need to put your volume up. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, but to go off that, yeah, I think Division A is definitely it's gonna be a gauntlet. It's gonna be there's realistically all 8 teams can make some noise.
Yeah, I think so too. Now, kind of shifting the focus over to Division B, right? We have Swear Society, Purge Nation, Indiana Syndicate, Hyped Esports, Natural Talent, Valiant Gaming, Living Nightmare, and God Gaming. We have some pretty good stacked teams on this side too. Natural Talent being the number 1 seeded team, overall from last season, along with we have God Gaming, who had an outstanding performance in the preseason with us. Valiant Gaming actually top 6, I believe, right? T6 in last year's season.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
We have Purge Nation, who almost swept Natural Talent out of the finals in the grand finals with the Search and Destroy on the 5th map. That was a crazy game. Nobody expected that to happen on that game, and I was kind of shocked that game went the way it went, because I was like, oh my god, if there's an upset with the very first round where you get eliminated, wow, natural talent out of the way. But Swear Society rebranded themselves. They were who were they before? It was Swift Uprising.
Swift. Yeah.
Yeah, Swift Uprising. Don't have the normal Anbu and Co, but we got a new team here. Horace from Indiana Syndicate is now the captain over at Swear Society. Changed the orgs. It's kind of what you see when you're in the off season is a roster mania, which was interesting to see where everybody kind of ended. But Vic, what do you got to say about some of the new teams that you see here? We see, for example, 3 new teams just in this division alone, which is God Gaming, Live Nightmare, Hyped Esports. What's your expectation from these new teams entering?
I think all 3 of these teams will make some sort of an impact. I think the competitive variance between them all is a little bit different, but they're close together in the same grouping. If we got a tier A and a tier B, some of them are hovering between the both. Some of them are firmly in tier B. But I'm really high on God Gaming after watching their preseason match and talking to the rosters throughout the seasonal kind of updates we have with them. And I'm really excited to see how these new teams go up against some of these rosters like Purge Nation and Natural Talent, where they're going to really be tested on their map control, player communication, and most importantly, spawn flips, which a lot of these maps are going to be are going to have that flip being very important. So I'm really just excited to see how this plays out. Division B, it's a lot harder for me to see it going to be a gauntlet like Division A, but Division B should have some interesting teams kind of qualifying for playoffs, and there should be a close competition in the last 2 playoff spots for sure. But I see 2 clear teams that should make playoffs, no problem. That's NT and that's Indiana Syndicate. From there out, it's a little bit more of a challenge, but I think this will be a little bit more interesting division to watch in just the kind of playoff race, whereas Division A is a gauntlet and it's anyone's game.
Absolutely, I can agree with you on that one. It's definitely going to be an interesting division to watch and see play, especially the way the matches are kind of like set out. If I were to ask the two of you guys, the top 3 teams in each division, which teams would you pick? I'll start with Fred because Fred's our special guest from Division A. I know you're gonna pick Knights Templar, bro.
Yeah, as a bias, I have to. I'd be removed from the org if I didn't. So I think AT will finish first. I think Rated Gaming would be stupid not to pick second just based off the history. As far as that third spot, I think it's up for grabs. I know Rated White is a new pickup I rated as a solid roster. We see good things from Heartbreakers, and I hear great things from Wave Runners. So I think those three teams will be fighting for that third spot. I think whoever doesn't get the third, it will be a good wild card game for 4th and 5th. So I think that will be the top 5 teams in Division A. As far as Division B, I'd have to agree with Vic. I think Natural Town and Indiana Syndicate probably your top 2. But as far as that third spot, again, I think it's up in the air. Swear Society said they new roster, new looks, but you have to have faith that Org can put together a roster. God Gaming showed us great things in the preseason match. Valiant Gaming showed us great things last season. So I think there's a lot of competition for that third spot.
Absolutely. Week 5 is that cross division, right? The first cross division that we see in the league is going to be week 5, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So it would be interesting to see those pairs up. So, I think Indiana Syndicate plays Hustle Esports or vice versa. I think, yeah, that's right.
I have the matches here actually. I'll actually get to that here in just a little bit, but I want to see from Vic. What do you think the top 3 teams? Your personal picks, top 3 teams out of each division going into the first half of the season. I should have been more specific too, Fred. Going into the first half of the season, so right before week 6, which is the free agency period.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just looking at Division A, and I don't really have a particular order in mind, but I got Knights Templar, Rated Gaming, and I'm pretty high on what I saw from Heartbreakers. I'm also pretty high on what I saw from Monolithic in terms of roster stuff. But, Wave Runners has got a good reputation out there on the Twitterverse for AMs. They've got a really good kind of solid org behind them, and that roster is pretty strong. If you ever watch any of their highlight clips or any of the other leagues that they played in, there's a lot of good things to say there. So they could just come out and even dominate the division. But again, I still think it's a gauntlet, and I don't want to give too much credence to teams that haven't been in the league before this season. So I'm going to stick with Knights Templar rated gaming. And for my third pick, the safe pick's Monolithic. No particular order there. Division B, it's a little bit more easy for me to kind of pick them out here. I got Natural Talent in top spot, Indiana Kids Syndicate in a close second. And then from there, I'm going to have to lean towards God Gaming. I think what they showed in the preseason is going to be that stuff they need to really clutch out matches, especially in places like Control, where you're going to need to get that kind of third round win to maintain match control. And I think they play Control better than pretty much anyone else in there, for the exception of probably Hyped. They're not Hyped Esports, Natural Talent. But Hyped Esports also really good at Control too, to kind of bring that up. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna go with KT or NT and Purge and God Gaming.
All right. I'm just kind of adjusting my audio settings. You guys can still hear me, right? Can you hear me? Oh, hold on. Having issues. You guys can still hear
I don't
me,
know.
right? There we go.
I can hear you now. I was gonna say, I didn't hear you there for a solid 20 seconds. I'm like, what'd
Oh,
you
good.
do? What'd you kill?
No, I was just
Take that
changing
tinfoil off the router.
No, I was changing the audio preferences, but kind of continuing. Yeah, I can see what you're saying from that. You know, on the A side, I couldn't agree more with you guys. I mean, Knights Templar, Rated Gaming. I mean, I'm a Rated fan. No offense to you, Fred. Rated Gaming is my team. Shout out to the boys in Grizz and the co. But Rated Gaming for me will take that number one spot. Not sure you guys made some roster moves there in Knights Templar, but I heard Rybo is back. Is that true? Frederick?
Yes, within he has personal stuff going on right now. He is going to step in for the first few weeks. We have one of our guys has some personal stuff, IRL stuff, is pulling away from the game. So he's filling in, but he's really embracing his general manager role this year. And he's going to be help us orchestrating the team from the front desk more this season than he has in the past. So,
well, I'm a big Rybo fan. I'm also a huge Nordic fan. So, I mean, Rated Gaming, top one for me. Second would probably be Knights Templar. But third, I would not agree with the two of you. I would actually say out of the new teams that are coming in, Rated White's a tough team. You know, it's a very tough team. They played outstanding in their preseason. But I'm going to go with the Wave Runners. I've seen them play in other leagues. Like Vic mentioned, you know, they have some pretty good comp, pretty good history. But I think Wave Runners is going to come up as a top 3 teams in the division, really. I mean, they got some pretty good players. You know, huge shout out to them. Big gas. I see Tribes in the room watching right now, too. So I honestly think they're going to come out on top. It's a tough third place spot, but Monolithic is good too. I mean, they played very well last season, had a lot of roster issues, a lot of roster problems kind of going into the season, and especially this season. They picked up their old members that were on their roster, but they're also on the Air Force roster as well because they're all military, active duty men. Shout out to them, by the way, too. Thank you for your service. But honestly, it's going to be a fight for the third in Division Alpha. For the B division is a little different for me. Natural Talent, obviously, on top. I would say it's tough because like these teams are actually kind of equilibrium for me, if that makes any sense. In this
No,
B
it doesn't.
division. Okay, I'm gonna explain this why. So Swear Society has Horus, Chammy, and a bunch of other people that played in the preseason that we saw had an outstanding game. Really outslayed. God Gaming won though, but they have good players. It's pretty balanced. God Gaming with Achilles and oh my god, I forgot who the other guy is that I watched as well. But Achilles, one of the big names that I kind of watched and saw play. Definitely got a really solid roster going for them. So like they're kind of equal in my opinion. It's just it comes down to the game, to that control game. That control game actually makes a huge difference, rather than playing domination. Especially like the way Kamaka explains it, because now I think it's by deaths as well and everything. He reads the patterns.
Lowest amounts of deaths allow you to have last defense.
So
yeah,
he
so that
reads the
overtime is
patterns.
decided by who has dies less.
Exactly. So like it's going to be tough. And Valiant Gaming coming back with a pretty strong roster as well. You know, they got Joe. Joe is a fantastic player. They have Magnus. They have a bunch of other players that are sitting on their roster that I'm interested to see play this season. I heard Living Nightmare made a change into their roster as well. Hyped Esports had a phenomenal season. They absolutely 3-0'd the hell out of Hustle Esports. No offense, but Zux. I always say his name wrong. I'm just gonna call him Zux. And Awesome and Josie and Easy. Those boys are really bringing it up for Hyped Esports. Indiana Syndicate. Like, this is a division that I see that's actually very equilibrium. Purge, you got Prodigy, and I don't know if they have No More Big Toe anymore. I'm not sure. But you still have, Philly, which was Sea Pills. Just a tough division. But my top three, I would say, is definitely Natural Talent. I'm going to have to say the second place team would be God Gaming for me. And the third is a huge battle between Swear Society, Purge, and Indiana and Hype. So, everybody really. But I'm going to say the third one is definitely going to be Indiana. They're a tough team to really go up against and just really play. They played a phenomenal game, took it to a first map 5 in the preseason. That was really exciting to watch, but none the more the less, I'm not going to beat around the bush with it. Obviously, this is all just talk. This is all just predictions. But we have a solid 16 teams in the league. 16 teams in the league, very solid.
Yeah, that's one thing I think we can all agree on is the 16 teams we have here. Regardless if there's a tier list and there are some that are better than others, we have a very competitive season this year coming up. All 16 teams came to play. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to just take a quick commercial break here. I'm going to just drink some water real quick, and we'll get right back. We're actually going to Week 1's match predictions, so don't go anywhere for you guys that are watching. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Reese's, Jamie giving him one, looking for the second. But no one really watching the main run up and oh, what a trophy system! What? Lateral kill!
Back in the studio here. Welcome back. Thank you all for still sticking around, still watching. We are at our very first podcast here of Season 3 of the new year. I'm still accompanied by myself, Jamie Santos, along with Brendan, whatever the hell your name is, Brendan. I can't say it, bro, but we're here. We're here. We're still continuing. Want to wish you guys a very happy new year. Success to all of you that are watching, all of you that will watch. definitely nice to kind of be in the booth here and kind of talk about the season and kind of break it down, what our opinions are, what we think. We just mentioned before we went on break, we kind of talked about the 16 teams that are kind of standing in our league right now. It's going to be excellent. It's what Fred said. We got pretty good 16 teams. Just excited in general to see the games, to see the stream, to see the casters. Really got to really thank the casters for everything they do. Really, for this league, they really shout it out. They really hype it out. The trailer that you saw, pretty much is Tugboat and I think it's Kamaka. Yeah, Tugboat and Kamaka just going off on it. Really having a good time. But watching. But we got to the real part right here. This is where we kind of debate and what we think and kind of put our insights, what we're going to think, what the match predictions are for week 1 is going to be. We're going to start with match 1, man. We're going to start with match 1, and we'll go right into it. This is Vic's pick for match 1, presented by Forma. It is Knights Templar going against the Heartbreakers. 3-1 for Vic. Vic, what? The colors don't mean anything, by the way, guys. This is just kind of like a design preference. But, Vic, 3-1. Heartbreakers losing to the Templar. So why 3-1? Why do you think Heartbreakers will only get 1 map?
So my kind of reasoning for this is Knights Templar. From what I've seen from them last season and going into this season, they have a solid S&D strategy. And going down to 4v4 from 5v5 only benefits their roster composition. A lot of their roster is more about skillfully playing the map and a little bit more smart decision making. So that extra player from last season in Modern Warfare meta kind of messed up a lot of their strats, but they still managed to pull it out and get a nice tight games going. And I think they're just going to take the SND. And as for the hard point and the control, I think maybe Heartbreakers will take the control, but I don't see them taking that double hard point. I think KT's just got a little bit more experience. Their roster's a little bit more set, and they know their roles a lot better.
Absolutely. Well, I could agree with you. But I'll show you mine. Heroes pick 3-2 over here. And the reason why I say that is because Search and Destroy, Fred, I know you're in here, you own KT, so I mean, I'm not going to crap on KT or anything, but KT, very strong S&D team, as Vic said. I honestly think it will come down to that very last S&D map. I mean, the way Heartbreakers played, they started, not strong in their preseason against Indiana Syndicate, which was really a good matchup. 2 good captains, 2 phenomenal teams just really playing. But honestly, I think it's going to come down to that Search and Destroy. Their control game is on point. Their hard point for Heartbreakers is a little iffy, but with reviewing VOD, having their coach kind of just watch and talk about strats, talk about what's going on, talk about what we have to do, what we have to watch for. Honestly, I think that's an important concept to this, but honestly, it's really going to come down to that Search and Destroy, because I honestly think Heartbreakers can attempt the reverse sweep again, but Knights Templar, just such a strong team. If Nordic is still going with his AR, then he's absolutely going to shred. And I don't know if Fred can confirm that for me, but I think he's going to have his AR.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Nordic, correct? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Talk about Nordic.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'm biased in that opinion. I think he's the best AR in the league. But yeah, we're not taking that away from him. He's our guy. He's taking the captain spot this year, so he's even stepping up for us there. But yeah, like you just said, I feel like my guys are a very compatible City team. They're a bunch of talented individuals. So it's just coming to put it together. And as far as Respawn, the guys have been playing a lot of the Pro Points ladders and stuff this year, so they're feeling confident coming into the season that our Respawn is going to be just as top-notch and refined as our SCD game is. So
Respect that. So let me ask you this question. What if Heartbreakers did reverse sweep you guys?
like I said, this we come in this knowing that we have the division of death, if you say. So if we lose to the Heartbreakers, it'd be heartbreaking. But it would be it's just one match. We said goal is to get to playoffs, and then you can make your run in playoffs. So one match isn't going to end that for us. So
all right, respectable. Honestly, I respect what both of you said. I just personally, to me, it's definitely going to come down to that last map. But Vic says that map 4 will definitely be forced. And we'll see it all in that control game. But in that last control game, I should have put the clip here with Dior, man. just on the top bridge, or whatever they called swap or whatever it is, in Garrison, really just kind of ice in his veins, ran through that smoke, took 2 down. I think that was the control game. I'm pretty sure that was. If not, I'm probably high, but I mean that's just New Year's Day.
I believe it was the S&D
I
because
know,
it was,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
it
I
was
think it's the
S&D,
S&D. I'm just like thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute.
yeah, he
I
got
think it's
that
definitely
two-piece of the
S&D.
S&D, and they flanked that match
Yeah.
so well. It was a really good match to watch,
That
and
was-
that
Yeah,
clip was the highlight of the entire preseason.
So I mean,
Yeah, I think definitely like you're saying, control is definitely gonna be one of those game modes. Though it's gonna be, it's way more kill centric this year than in domination. You can post up on map positioning and just play TDM for the
Yeah.
whole point, and just not even worry about the capture points in this game so far. So it
Sure.
plays.
for
Yeah, a lot of the
sure.
pro players looking at control this year as kind of team deathmatch plus as a way to kind of get your kill streaks up, or getting your 2 pieces down together. And I really think a lot of the teams here are going to have to learn to approach the map that's best for their roster. Biggest thing with control for me is I see a lot of these teams are a little bit more tactical when it comes to their play versus being more aggressive. And it's really just going to be which strategy works out for most teams, defensive or offensive.
I think it's definitely that offense. I don't know. Did we see a huge defensive? Nah.
Oh,
No,
it,
we did.
defensive
We
being
did.
we saw some defense. The 3-0 that what Hyped Esports gave to Hustle. I just noticed that Hyped, yeah, while they were out slaying, they were just playing the objective and forcing them to move around the map. So that was a little bit more defensive and smart play versus some of the closer controls where it was just straight out deathmatch. It felt like, and watching the teams go from their full lives to nothing in less than 2 minutes. So we'll see how it develops over the seasons for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. We definitely will. That's gonna be the opening game, guys, for the season. No better way to open it with the Heartbreakers versus not natural talent. Heartbreakers versus Knights Templar. Already screwing up the matchup, but that's just Hero. But we're gonna move on to our next game, which is a game of itself for match 2 on that same night on Thursday, 10 p.m. match. This is Vic's pick going in for the draft pick. No, I'm joking. But going in, Rated Gaming, the original Rated Gaming, because there's 2 Rated Gamers. Remember that, folks. Presented by Forma, we have Vic's pick 3-0 on Team Hustle. And why would you say this is a 3-0, Vic?
I just was not impressed with the team performance for the preseason from Team Hustle. There was not the cohesiveness when it came to controlling maps. There wasn't a lot of slay power on that team. They got a lot of work to do, and going up against one of our best teams in the entire league from last season, and probably one of the best teams in the league this season, like, they got a tough road ahead of them. This is the division of death, as Fred so eloquently put, and they're really going to have to pull some magic together, maybe make some roster changes to compete with these rosters. They're just not there yet. And until I see something that improves them, I don't see them picking up many more than a handful of matches for the rest of the season.
So interesting fact that you state that. I mean, I'm going to very well predict the same thing, just changing the overlay hero. Nothing really changed other than Hero's text on the top. Honestly, I think the same thing. Not an impressive performance in the beginning. We had Theoretic going 2-23. I know he's not on the team anymore. They did make some roster changes. 10-10 actually was one of the best players playing for their side on that series against Hype Esports, where they did get 3-0'd. He is now the captain of the team. He's now going to be leading the team and marching the team to victory. So honestly, it's kind of reviewing the VOD, kind of looking at, what they need to do as a team to face one of the toughest teams in the league. But I heard from a little birdie, Cynical. He watches the league a lot. He used to be the data analyst here. Huge shout out to Cynical. That they made some changes. They made some changes to the team, and they can at least win 1 or 2 maps off Rated. I mean, to me, that seems impossible to me. I just think Rated is an overpowered team. They have a very good roster now, and the reason why I say good roster is because these kids played on the team I managed, which was Sapphire Wolves, and Camo and Cuffer. Mark my words. Mark my words. This is exactly what Camo said to me when I was speaking to him. Let me see here. Kind of going back to my chats to kind of just see what we were having a conversation about rated. He says, "Mark my words. Like somebody's gonna be this kid's gonna be Cuffer." He was referring to Cuffer, by the way. You know, I should not show you that conversation, but anyway, that Cuffer's gonna be.
Oh, you're exposing this kid.
I know, right? No, they can't see the chat anyway. I can only see the chat, but Camo and Cuffer, man, that's a huge double, duo on that team. Huge threat on the team. But they have a really sweaty team, bro. They have Aspect, they have Zila, they have Skiddos, which kind of sits out. Sky, I think Sky played for KT, if I'm not mistaken. Did he play for? Yeah, Sky played for KT, right, Fred?
Is it the Skywalker kid? I'm not sure the same Sky.
I think it's.
Yeah, if so, then yeah. Yeah, he was our sixth man of the year last year. He came in some clutch situations. But
yeah, no, they have a sweaty team, bro. But I'm very interested to see what Cuffer and Camo do together. Zila, huge shout out to him as well. Very great player. He was a really great Dom player in last season. Just a really good hardpoint player in general. That's going to be really big for rated. Especially when it comes to the slaying, and just really, really gonna be interesting. I can't say much more about this match. There's not much to talk about because of the performance that they had in the season, in the preseason, not the season. But Rated Gaming on top with that one. We're gonna move to match 3, which will be Friday, 8 p.m. We have Monolithic and Rated White presented by Forma. Vic, these are your picks. Rated White 2 to 3 with Monolithic. And give us an explanation why you think Rated White, with the sweaty roster they have, also another great roster, Rated Stores, will lose to Monolithic.
My biggest concern with Rated White, as you said, they're a really sweaty roster. They play a lot. They do a lot of interesting things inside of a map when they're playing around. But my biggest concern is they push too heavily all the time. They are almost aggressive to the point of no restraint, whereas Monolithic will allow that to kind of happen and play that to their advantage. Monolithic, to me, last season, their biggest strength was when they were sitting on points in hardpoint or slaying out in S&D, they let players come to them and really took advantage of the situation. I think Monolithic going into this season with less bodies in the way on lanes, less people on the map, I think they'll get a little bit better with their ARs. They were an AR-heavy team last year, and I can see it again this year. I just think they're going to get some clutch moments from Rated White's mistakes.
Yeah, I think so too, but honestly, man, watching this team play, Koi and in the preseason, Koi did a phenomenal job for Rated White. I'm just trying to think of who's on that roster at the top of my head. My gosh, I'm really bad with rosters. I shouldn't even be doing the show. Kaiser, another good person, Freshie, but Dazzy. So Dazzy and Koi is really that duo to watch for, that dual threat. But Koi, man, with the sniper, all that action that we saw, that was a really great game, especially when they played on, oh my god, what's the name of that snow map again?
Crossroads?
Crossroads, yeah. I was going to say Snow Patrol for some reason.
Snow
Patrol. Oh, good old hero. I was going to say Snow Patrol, but anyway. Continuing, but Rated White, man, that's tough, man. Monolithic just dropped an entire roster for you to say that, but, I mean, they picked up a good roster. I mean, good from what I've heard, and also, like, some of the players that I've seen before, but honestly, my picks are a little different than yours. It's reversed with Rated winning against Monolithic. I definitely think it will definitely go to a 5-map game. I mean, if Rated does bad on the control and they do bad on search and destroy for some reason, then honestly, yeah, I can see a map 5. But, I mean, this can even be a 3-0. But I'm not going to be ignorant. I honestly think Monolithic can definitely get, 2 maps out of Rated White. And it's just how the boys play, really. Fred, do you have anything you want to pitch in?
Yeah, for those that are listening that don't know, Rated White was a new acquisition for Rated. It's the old LR roster. So you have Wartech and Crew. That roster I feel has the problem of playing to their competition. They kind of get ahead of themselves, and they get, like Vic said, they kind of get out ahead of themselves sometimes, depending on who they're playing. But I think this series will go 3-1 in their favor. I'm not too comfortable with the monolithic pickups. I know they made the roster swap just because due to scheduling issues and stuff. I have too much confidence in Wartech and his band of misfits to drop more than the map against monolithic. So I think it'll be 3-1 in White's favor.
Alright, yeah, so we'll definitely see map 4 at least, from what we're predicting. But I honestly think we will see 4 maps, at least, from this series
Yeah.
matchup. Two powerhouse teams, really. Powerhouse teams. Mono finishing like top 4, top 6 in last season. Top 6, I'm sorry, in last season. So definitely beneficial for them. We're just going to go right into the next match, which will happen on Friday at 10 p.m. That is my picks first. And that is Wave Runners going against Finale Gaming. So, presented by Forma, this is Heroes Picks. Wave Runners taking a 3-2. This is definitely going to be a map 5 game, and I only say that because the Wave Runners are ready for battle, man. They're ready to really come in this league and just really outdo it, outslay it, really show the teams who the Wave Runners are. They play tons of online leagues. Obsidian, I believe they're in. They play in, I think, Wigs' leagues, Wigs World Leagues. They're a really great team, you know, really, really good team to see. Tar Heel, June, and co. They're just, I've seen them play, and, I mean, they have bad days, they have good days. Phil, and I think it's Gazilli, yeah, I think it's Gazilli, but honestly think that they're an overpowered team. I mean, each team is gonna have that same thing too. You know, you're gonna have a bad day, you're gonna have a good day in the office. But Finale, going to them. I say this is a 3-2. Honestly, map 5 game for sure potential. And that's just because Finale picked up some really great players. They still have Nike. Shout out to you, Nike. I love you, bro. Just really doing it up there for them. And just really playing some really good COD, but, you know, they invested in picking up a whole, almost 8 people on their team. They have Kelso, Jane, Reckless, Hearth, Temps, and Cone, but, I'm sorry, boys, but I think you're going to lose to Wave Runners. That's just my opinion. But you can obviously prove me wrong. I hear some of the boys in the chat, they're saying it's going to be a 3-0. Bring out the broomsticks for the Wave Runners. But going over to Vic's pick on this one, 3-1, Vic. This was the right pick, right?
This is the right pick, yes.
Okay.
I had Finale with the guys that they picked up. They're pretty competent. Like I have faith that they'll win out a lot of games this season, but the scoop on Wave Runners from the leagues around the AM circuit, they're a professional team basically. They practice like they're pros, they act like they're pros, and honestly, from highlights and other matches I've watched in their scrims, they're on top of it. 4v4 was their game. These teams started back in, I believe, Black Ops 2. They've had a lot of roster changes since then, but they've been used to this 4v4 circuit for a long time. Some of these guys on Finale have only ever played 5v5 when it comes to a competitive atmosphere. I see them just having the advantage. This just comes down to experience, preparation, and just understanding the meta.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of say what you said there, I mean, these guys at Finale have played competitive COD, but there's difference between playing in the competitive scene, whether you play for leagues or whether you play in GBs, which is just for points and for ladders. I honestly think there's a huge difference that not a lot of people really think about. Yeah, I play, you know, pro COD or amateur COD, but, like, it's a huge difference when you play in the league versus you playing in the ladder system. And I honestly think the league side of things is more for, obviously, the bragging rights. That's one. But two, it's really to kind of match you up against a team at equal par or worse par or even better par. Kind of give you a real challenge, you know? I mean, obviously, the higher you are in the ladders, the better teams you'll play in a GB. But I just don't really see too much fun in a GB. I mean, other than calling kids out and posting on Twitter about people forfeiting matches or whatever. The league aspect of things are a little more interesting, and that's just more for the fact that you see these storylines, and I think we'll see this storyline in the Alpha division because these two teams right here are in Alpha. And talking to Sneak, I think it was Sneak yesterday. He said, "F them all, bro. We're gonna win. We're gonna win." So a lot of big talk from teams this season, man. A lot of big talks, and a phenomenal coach for the Wave Runners. Like you said, they're a professional team. They play as professional players. They have a really great org, coming into this league, and honestly, the representation, they have a really great coach. I think it's Grim. He's fantastic, man. He, from what I see, I kind of peeked on their Twitter. I stalk everybody, but they got it. What's coming for them, and they'll prove it. They'll prove it. But we're gonna take a quick commercial break before we go over to the last 4 matchups here. We appreciate you, 15 viewers still on the stream. Thank you guys. Gas us up, please. We're going to try to do this weekly for you guys to kind of do some insights, kind of do some predictions. If you guys like this, please, if you guys want us to continue doing these podcasts, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. We want to do this for you guys. We want to really kind of talk about the teams in this league and really see, what we can bring. But we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high.
Reese's, Jamie giving him one, looking for the second. But no one really watching the main run up and oh, what a trophy system! What lateral kill!
Back in the live action here in the studio, you have, for those of you just tuning in, you have myself, JP Santos, along with Brendan, whatever the hell your name is. We are still here doing the podcast for you guys. Very first broadcast, the Preface, as Vic says. Vic and Fred accompany with me. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Vic,
I'm still living that dream, man. Every day, all the time. 24/7, 365.
So we went kind of back here to this game. This is where we kind of left off. We were going to see a little sneak peek, but I don't think he's in one of the voice rooms. But we'll probably go back to that match once we see him in the voice rooms. He's definitely watching and following the podcast on YouTube Live. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're going to move on to the next match here. The next match, this is a big one right here. Natural Talent, presented by Forma. Natural Talent against God Gaming. Division B matchup. Vic, this is your pick. This is a 3-0 for you. Easy 3-0 dubs for you. And why is it a 3-0 for you, sir?
Now, I wouldn't say it's an easy 3-0, but I think it will end up being that way. As myself, Fred, and you were kind of chatting before the show, Natural Talent is that fourth quarter clutch team. Put Tom Brady out down 7 in the fourth, and they're just going to pull out the win. That's how I feel about NT. As much as I liked God Gaming in the preseason, I think they might even make playoffs. Like pretty not easily, but pretty sure they'll make playoffs. I think this is their first match. They might get a little bit of pressure to do well against the former champs, and the former champs are just they're good. They were the best team last year, not by a mile, but definitely by and large, most people thought they were the best, and they're going to continue being the best. Control will be interesting to see how they play out, but these guys are slayers through and through, and I think anything that's remotely close to team deathmatch, they're just going to take it and run, and that's a free win for them most of the season.
So are you saying my boys at Natural Talent are one of these boys over here that saw New England? And shout out to Falcons, by the way, for being a Falcons fan. So you're telling me my boys at Natural Talent are a New England clutch team where it is a 3-28 situation, good sir?
I can see them going down early and just pulling out the win regardless. They just have that swagger. Whenever you watch them in games, even if they start off slow, by the end of the match, they've already got the lead. It's the craziest thing to watch. If you go back and check out a lot of their matches against like KT, I think the match that they had against Purge in the playoffs last year, like they just pulled it out. And I think God Gaming coming to the league are going to get a nice warm welcome. Unfortunately, it might be a loss, but hey, they'll be ready for them come playoff time.
Fred, what do you think about that, man? What do you think about that?
I wouldn't say they're quite the New England team as far as like they are really good at compounding hills, compounding points. NT is what I'm talking about. Last year, even if they start off slow, they could rally off 3-4 hills. They rotate well. They get the kills when they need to be. So if God Gaming is to take the series, they need to come out and just punch NT in the mouth. Take the first hard point for SSD and put NT on the back foot. That's one thing I don't think NT's experienced here in KT or the K7 League is playing from behind. I'm pretty sure like all last year they played up 1-0, up 2-0. So be a change of pace if the God Gaming was to steal it away.
Yeah, I can agree with you. I mean, that's why I picked a 3-1 for God Gaming. No offense to NT. I know Ivane is back in that lineup along with Crix. Look into the ears and Crix. That's a lot what Shifty says when he casts. They have a new guy, Dailiki, I think it is, and they took like pretty much some of their rostered members out because they have like 2 teams, but their secondary team didn't have a fourth, so we are going to be seeing some Crix, Ivane, Katsi, and Daikiri. I don't know who it is, or I don't know if that's how you say his name, but a lot of these comp guys, man, you guys got to name a simple name for yourselves, man. Just like Scump. Scump has a simple name. Like, please, don't make those hard names. Like, God of Rage, or is it God of Rage? It's not God of Rage. That's KSI, remember? But, what God RX, that's what I was trying to say. God RX, Attach, or whatever. Like, make a simple name for yourself, man. Don't make that complicated alphabet soup looking name that the caster's going to have such a tough time watching. But Achilles from God Gaming is going to be a really big blow up in the league here in terms of just really playing really well. We have Legacy, Galaxy, and Universe, so it's a really good team overall, really, and I think they're going to get the 3-1. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think they're going to come out strong, other than what Vic is saying. It's going to be completely opposite where it's 3-0, but honestly, I think God Gaming can take this, and the only reason I say this, Vic and Fred, is because, I mean, a lot of people from other leagues that NT play in, and this is just rumors. I mean, I'm not accurate on this, so please don't take any offense to this. This is a talk show, so, I mean, we have to talk. But they've either haven't shown up to matches, they either don't show up to scrims, like I'm talking about NT, or they haven't played their best. I mean, it could have just been because of the off-season, the holidays and everything, who knows? But honestly, I think God Gaming is going to get this 3-1 on them.
Yeah, that was something that they boasted about last season, was that they never scrim. They called themselves a pickup team. I think this season isn't going to allow for that to fly by so smoothly as last year did. I think they will take a little more dedication to win this league this year. But as I said, last year they just rode themselves on pure talent and just outslaying and just like getting kills when they needed to. This year I think it's going to be a lot more teamwork based, especially with 4v4 now. You'll get exposed a lot more, not so much just outslaying your opponent. You're gonna have to play correctly. So
Absolutely, Fred. I can't agree with you more. We're going to move on to the very next match here, where we will see on that very same night at 10 p.m. on Saturday. I believe this is a Saturday match, where you are going to see Swear Society playing Living Nightmare presented by Forma. Vic, this is your pick, and it's a 3-1. And why are we saying Living Nightmare's taking this one map on Swear Society?
I think Swear Society, from watching their preseason game, kind of tuning in with the team on the side, I really like how they prepare for matches. And this is no offense to Living Nightmare because I don't know that much about them. I gave them kind of the map win there. I don't know which map they're going to win, but I gave them that one kind of on the standing of some of those players being in the season last season. They were on different rosters, and this is a new org that came into the season with players from last season. So there's definitely some reputable people on that roster. I just loved what I saw from Swear Society. I love the way that they move around the map. I love the way that they clutch out 1v2s. I just like how they play. I just think they're going to be the better team to start. And as the season goes on, we'll see if they can maintain the momentum from my perceived match 1 win here. But I'm pretty confident Square Society will do the necessary things in order to win. And they're not going to take shortcuts, not going to try to make bad plays. They're very tactically sound when it comes to actually playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, I can see that. I don't know about Living Nightmare. I mean, from what I heard, they picked up and acquired at least 1 or 2 new players. One as their 4th. I mean, I'm just gonna go right into my pick. It's also the same thing as well. It can also be a 3-0, really, but honestly, I think they can get one map at least out of Horus and the Co. But we just have to see how the game plays. I mean, they came out and played in the preseason, got 3-0'd, I believe. I forgot who they played in the. Did they play? They played each other in the preseason, didn't they? No. Who did they
No, I
play?
believe it was Swear Society and God Gaming played
Yeah, there was Swear.
the match together.
No, but I thought Living Nightmare played a game. Pretty sure Living Nightmare played like the second match. It was before God Gaming's match. I'm just trying to think which team played them.
I think you're right. I think it was Swear Society. I think it was a 3-0.
Oh my god, what team played them? Oh my god, there's like so many teams in this league. I can't remember right now. Oh my god, but anyway, I think honestly 3-1 will definitely be in favor of Swear Society. They got a strong team, Horus and Co. Man, really big shout out to them. They do a really great job. Overall, they played a very strong game. Chammy and Horus, big players to watch for, especially when you're watching Swear Society play. This was the Swift Uprising team, not the old roster. These are all new rostered players for the Swear Society organization. But Fred, I mean, any other opinions or other facts you got to state about this particular matchup, before we go into the next one?
No, I think you guys pretty much covered all. I think Swear Society takes this. I would give it a 3-0. Things I've seen from Swear, I think, outweighs the positives I've seen from Living Nightmare. I think Living Nightmare is going to have to hit the grindstone and be ready for the season.
So upon checking up on the preseason matches that we've had, Swear Society played God Gaming in that epic match that we saw, and Living Nightmare played Rated White. And they lost to Rated White, but the game was closer than the score perceived.
I should have put the preseason schedule up. Sorry, my bad. Should have put the preseason schedule up, when we started this. But that's fine. We learn as we go, right? But, yeah, definitely going to be an interesting match. I don't know if you asked me a question or anything. Sorry.
No, just was putting out the preseason stuff that we had. We weren't entirely sure about offhand.
But before we go into the next matchup, we do have a special guest we like to bring on stream here with us tonight, if he is still around. We just talked about his teams coming into the league here. Very, very interesting to see them play. I have Tribes in the room. Can you hear us, Tribe?
Yes, I can.
What is happening, brother? How are you doing this very fine night, January 1st of 2021?
Good. You're doing good.
Feeling good?
Feeling good.
like I should. But dude, you're watching the podcast here with us. We appreciate it. We see some of your teammates hopped in there as well, commented in the chat area. How you guys feeling about K7, man? 13 days till the season.
Really excited. The team, everybody knows what they need to be doing. We're just excited. We can't wait. We're just gonna keep our heads down and try to pull some dubs for the Wave Runners fam.
So we're going back to your graphic here. Tell us a little bit about this graphic. I think you were watching the stream when this happened. This is Vic's pick on Wave Runners against Finale. This is my pick against Finale. What do you think about this? I mean, you could be biased here. No, this is your team. And what do you have to say to Finale Gaming if they're watching this stream tonight?
Just get ready to come with your A game, you guys. This team is good. They know what they need to be doing. It's gonna be a tough fought series between both teams, but I agree with your pick, your decision. It's gonna be a good series.
Good series. So, which player do you think we should be watching for if I were to let the casters know about this matchup from the Wave Runner side?
One, or can I pick multiple?
If we were to go with a duo, which two should we specifically watch for? Really, that's gonna blow it up for the team.
Oh, they are gonna hate me because I'm gonna mess up the duos. Because
we could go with one if you want. I don't want any bad karma on your team, bro.
They're just gonna roast me. But when it comes to S&D, just keep an eye out for Tar Heel, the boomstick. You'll be shitting bricks with all the shots you'll hit. If it comes to respawn, June and Godzilla, then Phil and or Starfall and Tar Heel running it up in the back pretty much.
All right. So you guys heard it here first from Tribes. It is two good duos. I mean, who's the main hype man for the Wave Runners? Like who's that guy that if you're falling down 2-1, who's the hype man for the team? Like that's gonna bring the spirit and the motivation up to win the next map.
It's gotta be my boy Tar Heel. He's no matter how low they can get, he somehow makes the vibes. The vibes just go from 0 to like 100 instantly. Like they can lose a map and they can regain like instantly with just the hype and just what he brings to the table for them.
Well, man, I hope to God that teams utilize the voice area for their teams in the Discord, because we do listen-ins during the stream. If we do see a team in their voice area, we do see how the comms go, and we've seen some crazy stuff, man. We had that match where I think Rated played KT, and KT were just fooling around and kind of just yelling at each other and everything in Season 2 and everything, and just kind of like screwing around. But that's the kind of good stuff you want to see on the stream, pick up on the stream. But if your boys utilize the voice area in this server or during the match day, definitely you might see a little comms. We obviously don't show the comms for Search and Destroy because that is a hard strategy game to play, so we don't want to give your guys' strategy away. But definitely, man, we're excited to see the Wave Runners play, man. We're really excited to see them play.
I'm excited to see them to play too. I think this is the league where they're going to shine more into. This is going to be a tough, like I said in the beginning, it's going to be a tough fought league, but I see them coming up on top.
Absolutely, man. Well, I wish you the best. If you were to give us your socials for the Wave Runners, where can we find you guys on Twitter or any other socials you guys have, man?
So at Wave Runners GG. Also, you can find us on TikTok the same at. Even our YouTube is our Twitch is going to be at Wave Runners Esports, and that's pretty much it. It's just that's all of our socials pretty much.
If you were to say something to Heartbreakers right on stream right now, what would you say?
Goodness,
to my
you're
boy?
really trying to give me. You're really trying to give me. All I gotta say is pick. You want to veto or do you want to forfeit the match?
Oh,
What you do either.
oh
Do
my
either.
god.
Just get ready for it
Oh.
for an easy 3-0.
Oh my god. Hold on.
Just get your brooms out. Get your brooms out, boys.
We we have the meme to show since you said that on this stream right now. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. We have the stream to show for you guys that's watching on the stream. We have live here with us. I was about to say Tar Heel, but it's not Tar Heel. It is Tribes. He just called out the Heartbreakers. This is exactly what he said to the mans. Are you gonna veto? Are you gonna forfeit? And that's that panicking, obviously. But it's not finale, but there, that's Wave Runners. There you go.
Just get your brooms out. That's all I gotta say.
Ooh.
It's gonna be a fast match.
Oh, man. Oh, I love this. I love this. But man, it was a pleasure to have you on the podcast with us, bro. We will definitely invite you to some future ones. We appreciate you coming by. Any last comments you have to say, bro, before we let you go?
Can't wait to see what the other teams bring to the table. But at the end of the day, ride the wave, baby.
Ride the wave. I like that. Ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
To second place. It's okay.
Oh.
Someone has to be second.
Well,
It's not going to be us.
We're going to leave it to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. We will leave it to another episode. I'm sorry, Travis. We're going to have to kick you out of here real quick before it gets real bad. Real bad.
It's all GG's.
Ride the wave.
Wait.
But that was
Thanks
awesome.
for coming out there, Tribes.
That was awesome. Moving on to the last match. This is Sunday, 8 p.m. We have The Picks Are In, presented by Forma Visuals. It is Purge Nation going up against Valiant Gaming. Now, Vic, interesting. Why a 3-0? Why on God's earth? I'm going to be one of those, not being racist or anything, black guys. Why on God's earth is it a 3-0 for you?
Well, I needed to pick a team and a controversial pick, and I thought, well, I watched VG play last year. They had a lot of good matches, but they had a lot of shitters as well. The roster's a lot different going into this year, but that's a reputation that you have to kind of get rid of for yourself. You have to earn a new one, and I just think Purge is on the up and up. Looking at their roster changes, looking at how they play maps, looking at the amount of scrims that they do, how they prepare for teams. I can't see a situation where VG is going to win week one. Maybe they'll pull it out for the rest of the season. Maybe they could win a map, but I still think it's going to be a sweep.
Oh my God. Lord have mercy, because Heroes picks are coming in right now, and it is a 3-1. I think it's the opposite for you, Vic. Honestly, I think these teams are going to come out, have a fantastic series, at least a format, but kind of looking at VG's roster, per se, they picked up some pretty good guys, man. Joe Danborough is back, and he has an excellent game. This mullet guy, I've seen him play, I think like somewhere. Magnus was the coach, but now he's playing. Breeze and I think it's oh my gosh, told you, man. These names, bro. You guys have to make easier names. I think it's sick, whatever, dude. SCYTHE. You, Alphabet Soup. I think you're really good to play for VG. So please make better names next time that you guys play in COD. But anyway, honestly,
I believe.
Huh?
I gotta say, I believe the name is Scythe. Just to let you know.
Scythe. Yeah, I'm not good with names, but make an easier name. That's even better. But honestly, VG's gonna come out with this one, and I think that's more because they got a huge slaying power, but that's not to reckon. I can be wrong that Purge Nation will win this one because the boys are back. The boys are back in red this time instead of green. That's Prodigy and Oblivion, man. Those are two duos to watch for. They have a new guy named Scoop and Philly, which is Sea Pills. Definitely going to be hyping it up for this match over here with this matchup. But honestly, the S&D definitely can come down to Valiant. They had a really good S&D game, I think up to Event 2, which I think they lost one of their qualifying matches to get into the Cup. They played in the Cup. Yeah, they played in the Cup. Didn't they play in the Cup? I think they played in the Cup. But anyway, they had
No, mistake me if I'm wrong. the Purge Nation team is the old is a
Band of
rebrand
Misfits.
from Band of Misfits, correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
correct. Fred, what do you have to say about this matchup? Do you think
I think I would lean more towards Valiant taking this. I think it'd be called 3-2. I think the Band of Misfits, for history's sake, they're our season 1 champions. They struggled in season 2. And I think their roster is names that we've seen around K7 a bit that are, as a 4, seem like they should congeal well together. It's just how they show up. But I said I would lean towards the Valiant winning it 3-2.
All right, well, that's definitely foreseeable. We'll definitely have a map 4. I don't think it's going to just be 3 maps. Honestly, it'll be a good game. It'll be a good game. But moving on to the last matchup of the night, we're going to see Hyped Esports against Indiana Syndicate. Presented by Forma here, we are going to see a pretty good matchup. This is probably going to be the hardest matchup for the Hyped Esports and co. We're going to definitely see Indiana Syndicate on Vic's pick take this one at 3-1. Hyped can probably get at least a map or 2 on this one. And that's, I think, Vic's going to speak for himself, but I think he really put that because of the preseason. They almost had the reverse sweep, against Heartbreakers. Heartbreakers almost reverse sweeped them. But honestly, Vic, 3-1, huh?
Yeah, I'm looking at the 2 preseason matches that these 2 teams played, and Hyped came out on top of Hustle in a 3-0 that was pretty convincing, and the Indiana Syndicate matchup was a lot closer. Just looking at Hyped Esports roster, they're gonna surprise a few people. I think they're gonna do a lot of come out in the first match and take it surprisingly, and either they'll win out the match going into 4 or 5 games for the rest of the season, or they might get reverse sweeped. That's how I feel about the roster right now. It's just lacking a little bit of confidence. They're new to the league, new to the kind of K7 scene that we've got here. I still think they will surprise some teams, but this week I think Indiana Syndicate's got it. I see Hype taking the first hard point, kind of throwing Indiana for a loop there, and then they're just going to come out in the S&D, dominate, take the control, and then win a nice hard match on hard point. A very close ending.
Absolutely. As I go into this is more of a joke, but I picked 3-0. I honestly think, though, and actually it's a joke, but it's not. Syndicate could have had a 3-0 against Heartbreakers, but, Heartbreakers really pulled through on map 3. It was a 2-0, and then they went to the last map, almost the last map, and played. Heartbreakers came back really well from it. They had a really strong performance kind of going into the match and just really kind of playing the match out itself. And honestly, I think they can get this 3-0, really. I just did it more for the inside joke because I know Hyper's watching. But definitely going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, they can take map 1 or, probably even map 2. But I don't know, man. Syndicate, they got a really strong roster. I was actually talking to somebody about it. I think even Fred commented the other day, right, Fred? You see a very strong roster with the Syndicate this year.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Cool with Shanks. I'm not sure what he did in the offseason to work magic, but this team he has now is leagues better than the team he had last year. And I thought the team he had last year was a decent team. I think the series is gonna be close. I know Hyper is biased against these guys and thinks these guys are no lower than a top 4 in their division. So we'll see. It should be a close series. I think if it is either way it goes. In either direction, I think all 3 game modes are going to be super close, like 250, 240 type of game, 6 round 11s. I think this will be probably one of our more balanced. This could be one of the most balanced 3-0s that we see.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll probably come close games. We were actually just commenting with Hyper earlier before we started the broadcast up. Definitely going to be close games, right? Close games where in terms of the scoreline. But honestly, Indiana Syndicate coming out on top of this one. But we can get proven wrong. I mean, that's what the league's here for. It's really what we're here to watch, is to see how the teams play. Oh, boy. But but anyway, This has come to a conclusion, man. Again, I'd like to wish all of you a happy new year. I know Vic's he had to bug out a little bit, but Fred, man, any last words? Any last words?
Um, I had a question. I know we talked about the top three teams at the beginning of the podcast. Before the sake of starting to struggle, who do you think are the bottom four teams that'll be relegated out
Oh,
or drop to relegation?
already putting that pressure on me, dude.
Yeah,
Already.
who are you saying is gonna fall flat this season?
All
It's gonna
right,
struggle.
the people that I say will fall flat this season.
So for everyone that's listening who doesn't know, the bottom two teams from each division will be dropped to relegation and then have to play against our top 12 qualifiers to take those 4 spots back for season 4. Just to fill everyone in. So go ahead, Hero.
All right, man. So I think on Division A, the bottom 2 teams are definitely going to be Hustle Esports. And surprisingly not, I honestly think Finale or Monolithic, but I would have to go with Monolithic. I mean, I know that I talked in the beginning that they're going to be a good team, but again, it's such a hard division to really choose which teams in this division will be bottom 2. But honestly, if I were to predict, it would be Hustle and Monolithic finishing bottom 2 in Division A. Division B, I definitely see. It's like I said, this is the equilibrium division, where it's kind of like equaled out. But I can see Living Nightmare on the bottom, and if Purge Nation don't watch out, bro. Sorry, Sparky. They can be relegated. You guys got pretty equal matchup. I mean, it's tough to say, man. It's too early, obviously, but you know.
Yeah,
At the
it's just the preseason. I just wanted to stir the pot, see what you would say, see how the I would have to agree. I think that the 4 teams you named, I think, are the ones that are gonna have to make sure they're in the lab working their craft to make sure that they're at least in the 6th seed spot going in after the season ends. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's just my predictions. Obviously, it can change. It's going to change on a weekly basis. Those teams really got to watch out, man, because there's a lot of good qualifier teams. I know Carey brought in Team Veer. He has 2 squads in the qualifiers. I mean, obviously, only one of them will qualify, but there's going to be, KGK, another good team, another good org out there, and we had Anonymous Gaming sign up as well. There's going to be some new teams signing up here very soon. Our qualifiers starting on the 16th of January, pretty much the first week of the season, we'll also be running our qualifiers. So, keep an eye out on all teams that are really playing in the K7 League, man. Vic's not here to really make that prediction either, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting as hell. It's going to be a really, really interesting season.
Yeah, that is for sure.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you guys hanging out. If you liked it, give us a like, give us a comment. Let us know if you like this kind of talk show. We're going to try to do this once a week. Probably be before the games, either like on a Monday or a Tuesday, just to kind of talk about the matches going in and what our predictions are, talk about some league gossip, some league rumors, bring in our casters, really welcome them into the show, and we appreciate all you guys watching. We appreciate Tribes coming in here, giving a message to the Heartbreakers, giving a message to the whole league. We're going to definitely see him and Fred fist fight it out on episode 2. But this was just a preface, and appreciate all you guys here. We're out.
Yeah.
Oh, Fred, you guys say something? Sorry.
No, I was going to say peace. Peace, love, and happiness.
Deuces. Get a vaccine. Wear a mask.
For the stars, 'cause we're aiming high.
Reese's, Jamie giving him 1, looking for the second. But no one really watching the main run up and oh, what a trophy system! What? Lateral kill! left in position that can possibly take him down. One on the objective, turns around. Oh!
Has the man up, and now Austin just we can get one. He's gonna look for the double, can't quite get it. Just seems the last man alive.
Rushes the smoke with a sub, and they know exactly where he's going to be chilling at. He's got to check it just to be sure. Oh, this is a slaughter.
See a big gunfight here as Koi will not even have to take him out. Wartech will do the dirty work.
This one. Fast breaks. Fires. I'm not talking Reese's. Jamie giving him one.
He runs through the smoke. That's incredible from Dior that he made.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. Play me like a bass guitar. Simmer down and mash me up. Tripping like I'm Jimmy